Okay, check. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the closing section of the government side. My name is Salman, and I will be speaking for today. And coming to my section, I realized that the opposition has made some comparative regarding the reparation slash deterrent slash impoverishment versus their own version of the capital punishment such as death sentence. Now, if we really wanted to compare these two things, we should know and we should look what is the cause of them. So, impoverishment is the punishment that I propose as the government, and the death sentence is brought up by the opposition. Now, let's compare them both. So, impoverishment is a form of punishment to the corruptors who commit the crime, and death sentence is a form of capital punishment to a killer. Now, let's compare them both. So, death sentence and impoverishment. What is the cause of killing? Now, if you look at if you look at the cause of a murder, the crime of murder, there are many causes that can lead an individual to murder somebody. For example, jealousy, power, order, something like that. So there are many variables and there are many causes that can lead an individual to kill somebody. So let's switch back to impoverishment. Now, impoverishment is another form of punishment to an individual that commits corruption. Now, again, we have to ask ourselves the same question: what is the cause of corruption? Simple things. Only one thing: money. So it revolves around the idea of money, hence the corruption, hence the punishment of impoverishment. Moving on to my second point is that the opposition side mentioned a few things about if the form of punishment is impoverishment, we will violate their rights. Now again, this stems from the idea of justice again. So let's break down the idea of justice himself. So when an individual violates other individual rights, the violator cannot expect his rights to be respected too and unviolated at the same time. Meaning to say that if you commit a crime, you need to know that eventually along down the road you will pay for the crimes. So that is the idea of justice. Now, if they brought human rights into this problem, again, human rights and justice will sometimes go head to head, and this is where the shaky ground leads. So, if you break down the idea of punishment, the idea of punishment is to what? The mechanism of punishment is what? The mechanism itself is to limit one human right, but not completely deleting it, for example. That is the idea of punishment, and that is the idea of justice that we as the government see. Now, moving on to my third point is that the opposition side also mentioned that if we use the idea of impoverishment, we will put the family into effect too, which they do not do the crime. So hence, logically speaking, they are not be the one who should take the punishment too. Now again, this one is another logical error that is made by the opposite side. Let's clarify things up. So let's let's right the wrongs here. So why does the opposition clearly is mistaken here? Because they forgot to mention that, like it or not, knowingly and unknowingly, the family will enjoy the wealth that comes from corruption itself. For example, if within a family the husband is a perpetrator of a corrupter, then the husband will use his wealth that he get from corruption to enrich, to make his family happy. For example, he can take his family to vacation, he can buy things for his wife, for his kids, etc. So that is the idea here. So the idea is, even though indirectly the family does not do the crime, do indirectly also enjoy the wealth from the corruption itself. So for my remaining time, I would like to touch up my first speaker's point. Okay, so the first speaker is that the idea of reparation is what? So the definition of reparation is to pay the fines. Now again, this is something that is proposed by the opposition side, and yet they have failed miserably because they have failed to acknowledge that there are two grave error here. First one is that the social system is currently a defect. Second thing is that there are numerous abusal of power for personal gains within the systems itself. This can result to what? This can result to bribery, and this can result to money laundering. Both are punishable by impoverishment. So again, as my closing statement, I would like to say that because of my aforementioned argument, I have managed to dismember all arguments that is made by the opposition side, and I do believe that our argument and my first speaker argument is greater than the opposition side. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.